Okay.
So I'll be introducing you by order of, I would say, appearance, for and against. So we got Maria, number one, Amira as number two,
Hi.
Natasha as number three, last but not least, dear friend Ayet as number four. Hey, so excited to have the four of you here.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
it's really exciting. Yeah.
Wonderful.
You again.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, Hende Elias, um, from TESOL, Sudan, is in.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
She's a very active person, really.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Should have seen them over the past few weeks. They've done amazing activities online.
Wow.
Hey! So Maya, I think you may wanna just okay. Okay. So ladies, we got 1 minute before we go officially live. Okay. And Nasreen and Nist, one of yes, she's in. You'll find so many good old friends and colleagues. Yeah.
Oh, it's a fantastic opportunity for me.
Just look at the participant list. I'm sure you're gonna identify so many good friends and colleagues over here.
Definitely.
You know that Amira actually manages Notting Hill College. So it started in Alexandria, like something like 10, 15, how many years ago?
Back in 2004, and
Okay, hi, and
Hello, everyone.
hello.
Happy New Year. Hi.
Hi.
So yeah, that long ago, Amira. Yeah, and she moved to the UK, and again, she sort of like did remotely do the job, but we worked together. So Nasreen was one of those people on the staff, trainers in Alexandria. I moved to Cairo, and I continued in Cairo.
absolutely. And
Nice.
this unlock eases and we go back.
Yeah, that was like pre-COVID-19. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, I still remember the pre-era.
It's very much like the dinosaurs and the ice age kind of
Right.
kind of experience. Yes, don't you think?
Yeah, it's gone forever. Now we're changed and transformed into something
Life,
else.
life as we know it is tremendously changed.
Yeah.
So, ladies and gentlemen, it's 1 minute past the hour. So, in order to just make sure we don't waste any time, um, let me just first of all say hello to our debaters today. We have a wonderful team of debaters, old time friends and colleagues. We got, first of all, we got Maria Bosa. We started, knowing each other. Well, that was like early 2000s, right? That's when we first started knowing each other. A bit about Maria is she's a teacher of English. She's joining now from Argentina. She's just finished her class and joining us. See how much dedicated she is. Actually, her studies were in the Catholic University in Buenos Aires, and she lives in Cordoba, right? As a matter of fact, she has such like a diverse experience everywhere. you see her online in various activities, especially the electronic village online activities.
Mhm.
She is such an amazing facilitator uh, with her co-friend and colleague, Ayat Al-Tawil, whom I am going to introduce in a few. So that's our first debater from Argentina. On the very same team, we got Natasha Agrawal from the US. Okay, she's not. Oh, I'm
No,
sorry.
not on the same team.
Oh, on the opposing team. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Got flipped in my head. Okay, back to focus. Amira. Okay, Amira is on the same team. Hi, Amira. Sorry, Amira.
No,
Amira. Okay, and again, we started knowing each other ever since it's like 2004, you say? Okay, I'll take your word for it, Amira. Amira has been working as a teacher trainer for something like 15 years. She currently works at the internal quality assurance manager at Notting Hill College, the UK. Thank you for joining us from the UK, Amira. Always a pleasure to have good old friends. So now that's the four team, the supporting team. On the opposing side, we got Natasha and Ayat. Natasha is actually, interestingly, she had a very short experience in Egypt. How many months, Natasha, as a
six and a
fellow?
half. 6.5
Six and a
months.
half
Yeah.
months. Okay.
Yeah.
You were supposed to spend a whole year, I believe, right? Not
Yeah.
less
10,
than that.
10 months. It was supposed to be 10 months, but
Yeah.
COVID sent me packing.
That's sorry. I'm terribly sorry for that. It was our loss, but we're so happy to have you back virtually. Natasha has been teaching English since her undergrad days in New Delhi, India. For the last 15 years, she's taught in public schools in New Jersey. Students range from KGs, kindergartners, to adults. I particularly remember you were teaching those scholarship recipient kids, what do we call them? Scholarship recipients in Egypt. There is that program.
The access program.
Yeah,
You mean
the
the access?
access. Yeah,
Yes.
the access program.
Yes. Like,
So they had some fun time with you as well. Who else here do we have? We got, of course, my longtime friend and colleague, Ayet. Ayet, as I said before, is originally an EVO coordinator, trainer. She's an expert on facilitation online. She's spent so much time working with Maria and so little time with me, but I do miss her really
Oh,
being on my team. Yeah, we do a lot of fun activities together,
yes,
but
sure.
because she's busy all the time, she can hardly have enough time for everyone
for
here.
anyone.
Okay, so
But I
yeah,
cannot say no to you, Hannah. Come on.
thank you, thank you. You know, I love that. Thank you very much.
You're
Yet
welcome.
is a senior teacher, teacher trainer at the British Council Egypt. Okay, that's her main job. At the moment, she is the founder and coordinator of NileTESOL Learning Technology Special Interest Group. Without further ado, okay, I would like our debaters here to start their opening statements, each one for something like 3 minutes, give or take. Let's start by the for side, the supporting side. And what is our debate all about today? We're just asking here what to do next here. As we've experimented with our very young learners over the past few months, turned out that remote teaching is not such a great idea when it comes to pre-K or very young learners like lower junior. So in that case, uh, we have to really consider, and not just consider, we're forced to comply with a decree that those young ones have to go back physically or to physical classes very soon. So the question is, do we really feel comfortable? Do we agree or do we disagree? That's what we're going to hear from our debaters today. Thank you very much. And the floor now is yours. We're all muted and in turn, open the microphone as we go along. Thank you.
Ria, are you starting?
Okay, I'm so sorry. I was just checking on the. Sorry. Okay, I truly believe that we need to go back physically to school because of many reasons. At first, because or at the beginning, I would say that students felt that it was great, it was fun, it was different. But now, after months, they get bored. I get bored myself, in the sense of it's time consuming to prepare activities for being online. I have to tell you that here in Argentina, our school year starts in March and ends in December. So we don't have the break that most of you are having in your country. So for me, I am still in the 2020 school year. So it's very difficult to get students to work online. That's why I prefer having them physically, because I am a TPR teacher, because I need to touch a lot. I need the relationship with the students. I need the hug, the kiss, the hello teacher, good morning, have a hug, blah, 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 you know? So this is the reason I am in favor of going back to school physically. This is my point.
Thank you, Maria.
Thank you, my dear. And now, Amira.
Yeah, I would definitely go with what Maria says. If I'm looking at it, I would like not only from the perspective of the teacher, but if I'm looking at it from the perspective of the students. If you're talking the pre-K students, these students are developing all their learning domains. So they are developing their cognitive domain, they are developing their affective domain, and they are also developing their psychomotor domain. Let alone that they are also working on establishing and acquiring the basic social skills like sharing, like taking turns. So with going virtually, that deprives the students or the children from so many opportunities to establish friendship that grows through the year because they're working on a screen, that to give them, Maria was talking about that she likes hugging and she likes touching, which is of great value when it comes to human interaction. So if you're talking about the pre-K children, that human interaction is a key in their thriving, in their learning. They need it. They need to work together. They need this touch, facial expressions, spontaneous moves, games, fun activities. This is where all learning takes place. They are also in desperate need of, we do have different learning abilities when it comes to children at that age. So when it comes to scaffolding, when it comes to differentiating the instruction as a teacher, managing the different levels and the mixed abilities, again, that is a challenging point when it comes to the virtual classes. In a physical class, in the brick and mortar class, you would find the teacher with a assistant, and they are playing different roles. The students are sitting in groups and they are rotating and monitoring. They might assign different tasks depending on the level of the student. When it comes to the virtual, it's the teacher and the class, dividing them and assigning the differentiated tasks. I would say it's very challenging for the teacher. Good luck to a teacher who's doing that. They are doing a great job already, but that is extra challenge. And monitoring the progress, that is again, very, very much challenging. So based on these ideas, I would say I am favoring the physical classroom.
Good point. Thank you, both of you ladies. Now on the opposing side, what do you have to say, Natasha?
Okay, so I'll start. And I was listening to Maria saying how much she enjoys the hugs and how Amira said that it's very necessary for young children's development. So I have been an elementary school teacher for over 15 years. I have taught pre-K to 5th grade for I don't know how many years, and I've been in all the classrooms, and I agree with all this. However, are we forgetting that there's a virus lurking around? And in the United States, until yesterday, 171,000 people have died, not infected, have died. We also know that children, maybe even if they don't show symptoms of being sick, they can be carrying the virus. So how can we be congregating in a classroom with 20, 25, 30 children and adults? There's going to be adults in that school. How can we even think about this at this time when people are sick, people are dying, and we need to address it somehow? So the good thing is that there can be virtual teaching. Yes, I agree, it's not going to be as effective as physically being in the classroom, but definitely it is something. We're not just isolating ourselves. Luckily, we are in a time where we can be connected with the screen, and that's the best we can do. And in some ways, that is, we know it's the way to go. We know that we are going to be more and more connected, um, through our computers. So it's fine if the kids get a little taste of that. And that's where I am. I don't want to be sick, and I definitely don't want the children to be sick or their families. And that's what I believe.
Thank you. Another strong point here. So what about you, Ayet?
So I'll take it from where Natasha stopped, and that we need to put student safety and the teacher's safety as a priority. Safety comes first. Okay, but then again, if we look at how we're getting ready for the new school year to get all the students back to school. So all schools are required now to work on ventilation systems, to work on sanitizers, social distancing, and all these precautions that we need to consider. So imagine all that cost that we put on this, how practical this is when it comes to a classroom with kids that you don't want them to stand up or to move around or to touch or to do anything, because this might be danger for them to, they need to be on a mask, and they don't have to be moving around or walking around the classroom. So is this your job as a teacher now to teach, or to be policing the safety guidelines? Okay. And all that cost that the school and the government is going to be putting on these precautions. What if all that cost is put now when we have the online option or alternative, at least this year, if we put all that effort and money and cost into getting our schools ready with resources for the teachers to teach online, training teachers, developing that side of online teaching for now, at least. And again, back to the teacher's role and to what happens in the classroom. So now you're asking the students not to share, and I appreciate the point that you mentioned about Mira, about the sharing, and these are the skills that the kids need to do now. But now you don't want them to be sharing or giving each other like handouts or toys or resources, because there is like a risk here. But kids they cannot just sit in a class for that long time without moving around, without doing all that. Even their bodies are not ready for this, and they are getting bored of this. So it's not going to be that effective. While on the other side, in a classroom, you can get them moving around or standing up and sitting down, going around, like looking for something outside here in that room, talking to someone and coming back. So there are not all these restrictions that you do have in a classroom, at least for the time being. So I think that we need to consider safety. That should come first. And Natasha has just told us that it happened in the US. Some schools opened and the case is not really good or encouraging for them to continue that. And I believe that, yes, we started, the start or the beginning of the year was not perfect and was abrupt, and it had lots of issues. But now, after teachers started dealing with it and got some experience, I think that the new year is going to be smoother, and they will be like ready for it, or at least better equipped with, especially that we are now hearing about the second wave. So we might suddenly, after we go back to school, we're asked to lock down again. So, and it's going to be again that not perfect and abrupt decision. So why not get ready for it earlier, and at least for some time continue with online learning and invest in it more? These are the reasons that I think that we should hold on to that decision of going back to face-to-face classrooms for now and consider how it can be effective. The other alternative can be effective. Okay. So that's it from me.
Well, thank you very much for making a very good argument here too. It's like one of those debates when we simply have two very equal and balanced sides. You cannot really say no to any of the sides, whether for or against. Good luck with the rebuttals, ladies, here. So now to start with, let's hear from Maria and Amira. Okay, rebutting the, the against side, the opposing side.
Thank you. I will just say that it's okay. I understand the point of view of Natasha and Ayat. In some parts of our country, students have returned to school with certain precautions, but as we said before, we need that contact. We need to be in touch because it's the nature of students to be in contact with each other, with adults, with peers. Apart from that, sometimes some of them, not all, are very shy and they don't want to show their home, or they don't have the privacy they need to be in a virtual class. So they don't have, or maybe they have only one device for the whole family. So it's very difficult, yes, for them to share or to be in front of the classroom when we need, as they are young students, we need to have an adult with them because of the safety. So it's very difficult for me these days to have young kids in front of the camera, sat down for, I don't know, 40 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, anytime. So because of everything, so definitely going back to class is what I prefer. I know the secure and everything, but we need to go back.
Well, interesting indeed. Yeah, I can see your point here. Amira, would you like to add anything?
Yes, I was just saying that there are 2 points. First, if you look into all the aspects of life, they've been eased. So I'm talking about the UK. So cinemas, people can go to the cinema, people can go to the gym, people can go, can have party of 50 people gathering together. So if we are to weigh which ones, like which is better, like go to the cinema and go to the pubs and have going out, or sending our kids to school. So it's like already nowadays, that I'm talking in the UK, has already the lockdown has been eased. But which is, if I am to, the UK has put the children to a lockdown, closed the school. That was the first step that happened. So they have locked children in March, while they have closed shops and malls somewhere in April. Yeah. So it is. If we are to consider and weigh the learning loss that had happened to the children, I would say if we are going to a lockdown, then schools are the last to close and the first to open because of the learning loss. There is a high level of risk that students might lose track of their learning goals. They would go behind their progress. They would regress, not progress, but they actually regress. The learning loss, if you're staying for 2 weeks or for 3 weeks, it is actually huge. There is a percentage, I think 5% or so, that you lose out of your learning if you stay away for 2 to 3 weeks, let alone staying for, children now are getting closer to 6 months of no contact. Looking at also at not all students are intrinsically motivated and can sit in front of a camera and listen to the teacher and does what the teacher asks. It's quite challenging for the teacher to keep even and monitor the students' behavior online. that most of the students are easily distracted, will mute or will close the camera and do whatever they like, and there will be nothing happening. Actually, the teacher will be talking, but she doesn't have any control over whether the student is responding to this instruction or not. And that's why I would say, yes, safety comes first, but if we are to choose, we are already outside. We are like, I don't know about the how Egypt is like these days, but we are already outside. We've been outside. We go to mall, we go to cinema. So if we are to choose, since we are outside anyway, what is better? What choice do we choose? Do we choose to go outside and entertain ourselves, or do we choose to go outside and make our children learn? So I would, if I'm to choose, I would choose that my kids go to school and actually get the learning they deserve. Thank you.
Thank you, Amira. Again, this is a tough call, I said. So let's hear from the other side, okay, what they have to say. Again, Ayet and Natasha, feel free.
Yeah, I'll go first. So first, I want to address Maria's issue where she said kids need the physical touch, and she's a TPR teacher. She mentioned, and touch is important, connections are important. But how would you feel if you were responsible for carrying the virus? Because people can be asymptomatic, remember, and you transmit it to one of the children. Or if the child brings it into the classroom, infects the classroom, and you, who would be responsible? Would the school be responsible? Would you be responsible? Would the government be responsible? How are we taking steps to prevent the spread of infection? Because that's the big question. It's not that we don't want to teach or we don't want to be in the classroom. That's one question. I feel like it's a question of ethics. How responsible are we as a community, as a school community, as the neighborhood community, of taking care of ourselves and our neighbors? And what you said, Amira, about online instruction, I feel like now education has to change completely, in the sense, if the teacher is not going to be physically in front of the students but behind a screen, then yes, again, it becomes a family responsibility to educate the child, not just the teacher's responsibility. I mean, even now we say parents and teachers have to be hand in hand to educate a child. So while I cannot be with your child in the classroom and I'm on the other side of the screen, we do need adults on the side of the child, hopefully guiding them, helping them stay focused. Or maybe we just need to take a few months to see if the child learns other things in the home, building relationships in the family, because we don't get time for that if the kid's out of the home almost the whole day. Maybe taking time to cook with mom, maybe doing something with dad, telling stories with grandma if the child has a big family at home. So maybe it's time to build relationships, to do things together in the family, and not focus on the screen so much, because education is everything. It's not just reading and writing. And the other point I want to make is that the kids, we're talking about young kids, we're talking about kindergarten, first, second, and third, and they have the time for academics. They're not writing a PhD dissertation right now. They don't need the guidance at that moment. If we just let them play, let them build relationships, let's deal with this pandemic, let's make it safe, and then we'll get back to the learning. It's okay. They're like 5, 6, 7 years old. They have a lifetime to learn their ABCs and essay writing and everything else. So I feel a little bit of nurturing is required right now, and not so much academics. So if we can just sit back and relax about that, we'll be okay.
May I just share one thing here? It might sound like a joke. The other day, when they started announcing now it's gonna be formal in Egypt, we have to be ready that pre-K and lower junior are going to be back to school like 5 days a week. All right, and we have to all face it. Now, the jokes circulating around and the memes are about the following, okay? Now, the parents having experienced what happened last semester, where they had to be supportive, as you said, Natasha, to ensure that everything is done as per the teacher's instructions and the school's instructions. Well, they said, we don't really mind if they start a boarding school and the kids can stay full time at school, and maybe meet with parents online once in a while. So they can meet with parents
Oh,
virtually and stay full time at school. They would not really have a problem. They
oh
don't
my.
want them anymore. So it just triggers the idea of, providing support from mom and dad. Mom and dad are no longer interested in providing support, just so you know.
It just makes me so sad to hear that, because your kids are little for
Yeah.
such a short period in your lives, and then they grow up and they fly away. Like, I know now that you have to catch those moments and just have some fun together.
Yeah.
So
Right.
anyway, over to you, Ayat.
Yeah, but I don't believe this is going to be happening, Hannah. Like, I've heard from lots of parents that they are not ready to get their kids to schools, even if that the decision was taken that they have to return back to schools. But if parents don't feel safe taking their kids back to school, then nobody can blame them. And again, like going back to your point, Amira, when you said that life has been eased now in the UK, and I've heard a lot about this from some colleagues and friends there, and everybody goes to the cinema and so on. This is the adult's choice, but the kids do not have that choice to go back to school or no. So it's going to be the parents, the government, as Natasha said, whose responsibility is it going to be? Who's going to take that decision that will affect those kids' life and everybody around them? Okay, so that's the point. That's a very important decision, and they cannot, we're going to take that decision for them, so we need to be really careful about it. And again, Maria, you were talking about the point about the limited resources, and I do really understand that point, because this is not just in Argentina or in places here in Egypt or in lots of different countries. Many countries, many places, even here in Egypt, are not, and teachers are not ready with the resources, the internet connection, or even the training to teach online. And that's why I said at the beginning, this is the area that we need to invest in. So instead of looking at how, again, let me go back and say, we're not for students staying at home forever, but at least for some time until things get clearer, until there is a vaccine, until we know that it's safe to go out, even if everybody's outside now, but we know it's still not safe. So that's the point. Why not work on these resources? I can hear now, and I can see in different places how they are getting ready, how much they spent on getting the schools ready and everything. All places have been doing lots of procedures and taking precautions for people's safety in banks and everything and everywhere. So why not invest in that online learning, which we have seen can work? And kids now, as Natasha said, let's see. So in Egypt, kids haven't been taking online classes, because once the pandemic started, it was almost the end of the year. So they said they will just stay at home and submit a research paper, and that's it. So they haven't been back, or they haven't been taking any online classes yet, but they have been locked at home, which is not ideal, I know, but they have been developing, yes, lots of skills. So I have seen that from my nieces. Yes, they get really bored at home, but they have started reading lots of books, which they had no time to read on school days. They just spend the whole day at school, then maybe go to the training, come back, do the homework, and they are just dead, and they sleep, and the following day, and so on. They do some stuff with their mom and dad, especially the first period when they were at home. And so all the family were locked there. And the surprising thing is the awareness those kids have that I don't see in some of the adults. So they do know, they hear the news, they follow everything, and they know, no, we have to be wearing the masks. No, we have to wash our hands. When their dad comes in, they say, okay, dad, quickly go wash your hands. Mom, no, don't touch this. And so they are really aware of everything around them, and they are really mature. I could see that mature thinking and behavior and attitude in those young 7-8-year-olds. So I think that we shouldn't underestimate kids and their abilities. Just give them that opportunity to develop their skills and help them as teachers, as parents. Even the parents now, they develop the skills of working online. I was training some teachers, And they said, okay, we're going to do this with our kids, not with the students only. So they said, as parents, we're going to use these techniques and these tools to help our kids at home, not just their students. So I think it has been a very, like, in spite of everything bad that was happening, but it has been a very useful experience if you look at it from the positive side or perspective. So if we just give ourselves some time until we're sure things are safe, then I would be the first one to get back to classroom, definitely with the kids, but just to feel that everyone is going to be safe there. And that's it from me now.
I just want,
Thank you.
sorry,
Okay,
sorry,
Maria.
Hannah.
No,
Yeah,
go
sorry.
ahead. Go ahead.
Sorry,
Go
I
ahead.
just want to reply something Natasha said and to Ayad. Um, I mean, I know that we will be able, I mean, teachers will be sued for whatever happens to students or the other way around. But before we go back to classes, we'll be tested, we will have all the biosecurity or all the biosafety measures. So we are not going back to classes just like this, okay? Hello, we are here and we have classes. Um, in some provinces here where classes have restarted, they have some protocols where students go to class or to physical class, like in groups of 5 or in groups of 6, and the others stay at home, and the teacher then gives the classes. So it's divided into groups, who can go, who cannot go. First, the ones who are going are the lower ones who don't have connectivity, the ones who don't have uh, the devices. So those are the ones who have restarted. Now, I also have a niece who is 7 years old, and she doesn't want to go back to classes because she enjoys being at home, like playing with my parents, with her other grandparents, with me when she comes home. So I understand the children's point of view of being at home or not going back to class, but they need to be in touch with other kids, because in my case, my niece is the only one and she is always with adults. So they need to have that peer connection, that playing with their peers, and I don't know, the vocabulary they use is different from the one they use with adults. Or so that's why I just insist on that. I understand the precautions, I understand the point of view or all that you have said, but they need to be in contact with the peers. Thank you.
Thank
Don't
you,
worry,
Maria.
Maria. Yeah, don't worry about them. What will happen when they get back to school? They will get. Now she says that she wants to stay at home, but once you tell her we're going back to school and she's gonna see her friends and everything, she's just like gonna do it, and she will enjoy school back, and everything is gonna be fine. Because we have some kids now going out, so started the sports training sometimes now and going out to some camps, and yeah, they are fine with it now. When they feel safe, they will just go for it. So I don't think it's going to be an issue for kids to go back to school if they get used to staying at home.
Okay.
Would you allow me here to involve the audience with you at this point, so we won't keep it till the end?
Please.
Now, to start with, I've shared the poll results. Do you have access to that? Can you see them? If not, I can share them via screen share.
Yes.
We saw it come up, but then I just closed the window.
Oh, can you try? Just go to that share again. I'm gonna stop and try again. How
Yeah,
about
if
this?
you click on polling, you can see it.
Can you see it now? Mm. Can can you see it? There is some background noise coming from somewhere. Can you see it?
No, we can see your browser.
Ah, I see. Okay. I'll stop and try again. Okay. So I'll stop sharing and then try again. Share results. Can you see them?
Mm-hmm.
Now, as you can see here, the pre-poll here, we got like 60% who do agree with the motion. Now, since remote learning is proven ineffective. Now going back to school physically is a necessity. So up till this point, we have like the majority on the side of yes. Okay, we need to just explore other options here and see if we can really sort of convince the other side. But why not hear from those? Can I just mute everyone and come back to you, ladies?
Yes.
All right, I gotta do that now. Just a second. There we go. Yes. Now feel free to unmute yourselves, ladies. All right. Okay.
I think there are some very interesting ideas in the
yeah, please, let's take a moment, go over the chat box. And I'm going to ask people here from the audience. We have, by the way, we do have Heba Abdelil. She's just joined us.
Hello, Heba.
So, hi. So we would like to hear from people. Okay. So we got Hind, we got Fatma, we got so many people. We got Negwa. Why don't you guys raise a hand if you wish to participate via audio or video? Feel free to jump into the discussion. Hind. Okay, Hind. So now, Hind, I am giving you the chance to actually join us here.
Hi.
Hi, Hind.
Hello, everyone.
Open the camera if you wish.
Okay. There. Yes. So I was just thinking that it's a very like we're between the devil and the deep blue sea. It's I saw a funny cartoon where parents are teaching their kids at home, and now the teachers are laughing at the parents like, this is what we go through, now you get a taste of it now. So now parents really know how difficult it is to be with teaching their kids all the time, and then there's the problem of parents, the kids not really taking it as seriously as the teacher, you know, because they know that their parents are flexible and they can do whatever they want. Like, even if there is discipline, it's definitely not like the discipline in the classroom. So that's one of the problems. And then on the other side, if we go to online, if we go to classes, if it's not online, testing is an issue. The numbers of the cases are not accurate. And I'm from Sudan. My father's in healthcare, and he's really struggling with, you know, the cases are growing, like people are not really taking it seriously. They still need to go to mosques and gather, go to weddings. They don't realize the how, you know, big it is and how serious it is. So it's just, you know, we're just between the devil and the deep blue sea. So it is a really it's a dilemma. So thank you for giving me the opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you, Hind. Any of the speakers would like to take Hind's? Okay, yes, please. Go ahead, Amira.
Yes, I just wanted to catch up on what Natasha and Ayat and definitely confirm with what Hind was saying. The idea that parents teaching the kids, like especially with the pre-K, if you're talking pre-K and you're talking junior 1 and 2, the students or the kids do not really believe in the parents. And I am a parent and I know what I'm talking about. So if I am saying something, they would say, no, but the teacher said so. So if you're talking about the parents playing the role of the teacher, forget it. And that is one aspect. So even if the parents are motivated and they want to sit and manage their kids and teach them and give them the tuition and everything, the kids do not want to listen it from, don't want to hear it from the parent. That is number one. But the second point is that also the parents themselves are quite busy. They go to work every day. Their schedule is cramped, and now they have to find extra. We're talking a couple of, like, before the debate start, how the pandemic has hit the economy. and everybody is in the risk of losing the job, and they're doing their best to keep and cling to the job they've got. So that is pressure. Now, putting the extra pressure on the parents and asking them to give tuition to their kids, that's again something really challenging for the parents to do. So from both perspectives, I feel that the parents are not very supportive. Like if the parents been supportive, I'd have said, fine, let's go. They will act. I was talking to my colleague, Paul, who's actually staying and listening to us today. I was talking to Paul Woodcock in the morning about the debate, and he said, if the parents are there, they could act as the hands of the teacher inside the classroom at home. But that is not happening. The parents are not there. They are not giving the dedication. They're not given the support that they were expected to do. So let's face it. I don't know. I know you're all teachers. Paul is giving my thumb up. So I know you are all teachers, and you've all been there. So you see how the parents are responding. And if you have supportive, responding parents, then you're quite lucky, ladies. I have not seen it in my side of the woods. That's it. Thank you.
So I just want to add something here.
Yeah.
So,
Please.
you know, I am a teacher, and our school is going 100% remote now, starting in September, which is just a few days ago. And so like we said that when we were teaching online in March, I wasn't here, but my colleagues were, and it was too sudden. Nobody was prepared for it. But now, before we go back to school, we have a 10-day training on how to teach online. All our curriculum has gone online, and I'm actually quite excited about it to get the training and see how it's going to work out. But we also have a parent component, and we're trying to train our parents as well. So because now it's very apparent that it has to be hand in hand with teachers and parents. It's a joint responsibility. You know, it was easy to just drop off your kid at school and pick them up, like after care and everything, pick them up at 6 o'clock, according to you. But I mean, this situation is out of all our control. So everybody needs to step up and take at least a little bit more responsibility for the children, to keep them safe, to keep them educated, and for everybody's security.
Yeah.
So,
well, before we take the next question from Samar here, I mean, if parents have to be involved, they might as well do homeschooling. I mean, why do they really have to send off their kids to, $1 million kind of it's so costly, especially nowadays in Egypt. So you don't really have to pay all that much money. And on top of it, teach or support from home. Natasha, you cannot imagine the pressure. So,
well, in a sense, I can, because I am a parent as well. Of course, my kids are not that little anymore. But where I teach, it's a very poor area. I mean, I am in USA, and I think some people think that all schools here are very rich and full of money. I teach in a Title I school, which is high poverty, and it's a very rundown area. Our school is not very much supported by the government. Everybody struggles there, the teachers, the students, for anything, supplies, markers. You know, we struggle for little things that you can't imagine. So, it's not that the parents are paying a whole lot, but what the parents do need is the 2 meals that our school provides. They need the breakfast and the lunch that the school provides. That's how high poverty it is. And so what our schools are doing now is delivering the meals to the homes so that there is food in the house, So it is a very difficult situation. I'm not refuting that in any way, but trying to see what the best way is so that everybody's alive at the end of it. There's too many tragedies happening.
Yeah.
it is. Ayat.
Yes, there is a very interesting comment here from Summer in the chat. She said that her 6-year-old son gets really well with online courses, which wasn't happening at school times. So this is really interesting, because some kids do find themselves in online classes, and sometimes even shy ones, because being in a classroom among a lot of students can sometimes be really stressful for some kids, let's say, and not very comfortable. So being at home in a comfortable place and being not on the spot all the time, for example, is something that some kids do appreciate. And someone else was talking about the kids' time span, and an online class can be boring. That's why we're now working on training teachers on how to take screen breaks while teaching an online class, which is very important. How to include movement in an online classroom. So kids have to stand up and sit down, move around, and because these are the challenges that we face and these are the needs of the students. So why not try to make that compromise and get the kids to, or help the kids get all they need from, or most of what they need. Amira, okay, most of what they need in a face-to-face classroom, and still see what happens. So we might have similar cases like these ones, kids who are feeling more comfortable, feeling more, they can accomplish more in an online class, maybe. So that's an interesting case. Thank you so much for sharing it, Summer.
Summer, do you want to elaborate? Because I think you asked to join
Yes,
the discussion.
yes,
Yes, please.
And feel free to
yes.
start your camera if you wish.
Okay, okay. Hello, everyone. Okay, my
Hi.
pleasure to be with you. Okay, I miss you all, by the way. Okay, I'm going to say my points quickly. Number one, I believe that I'm a good teacher, but I'm a very bad mother. I'm doing very well with my online classes when I explain things to my students, but I cannot really follow up my daughters and my son. I don't know if I'm, that's why, that's because I'm busy, or because I really feel that I cannot follow up what they are taking online, because I cannot see the material in front of me. I don't know what to follow exactly. Number two, something that I've noticed that in Egypt, as you have just mentioned, that many parents think that if the teachers are not going to exert effort, especially in classes, so why do I have to pay the school fees? They have this feeling that online classes are not really worth for the sum of money that I have to pay. Number three, I'm one of the mothers that I think that I'm not going to send my kids at the beginning until I really feel that everything is safe. Even if the Ministry of Education say that they have to go back to schools, no, I'm not going to do this. At least when things are really clear and things are really safe for them. Thank you so much for allowing me to participate.
Thank you, Summer. That
Summer,
was really nice.
Yeah. Can you tell us, Summer, about your kids? How do you think he's getting well in online classes as compared to face-to-face?
Yes. Well, yes. Okay. Actually, at the time of COVID-19, when the school started sending online materials, by the way, I felt a little bit frustrated from the school, despite the fact that they joined one of the greatest school in Alexandria, but they didn't really handle things in the way I wished they would do. So we couldn't really follow things. They just sent YouTube links and things like that. But nowadays, he's been joining one of the online classes. I was really surprised. I thought that he's going to get to be bored. Now this is the third week, and he's really enjoying his time. By the way, every week he got a new teacher. All the time it's full of games, which is very interesting because he's still very young, 6 years old. Number three, every week he get to know new friends, which makes him a kind of having more fun of getting familiar with new people, and even I don't know, new behavior, okay? Because not all the kids behave in the same way. So I think that this is adds a lot to his experience, even in life. Finally, one of the best things that I'm glad that he learned to deal with online classes, that he dealt with computer. He has to deal with Zoom. He has to know who is participating with him. He has to share some things, type in the chat box. For me, this is much better. This is the best thing, I mean, that he learned from the online classes. Yes. Thank you.
Natasha, and then we're going to take a comment from Hene Sudan, okay?
Yes, I'm going to say something very quickly. Since we are talking about young children, I just want to add that they are so much better at technology than most of us are. So we might be struggling with technology and trying to figure out how to do this and that, but the kids learn so quickly already. A lot of them are born with the iPhone in their hands here, they know how to use the voice function and they can do so much. So I think we as adults are struggling more with the technology than they are. And I think they're going to catch up much quickly. We have to catch up with them. That's my feeling. So yeah, over to you.
Okay, Hene, please, Hene Sudan, you wanted to make a comment, so please join us.
Hi, how are you?
Hi,
Hi,
wonderful
Hannah.
to hear from you.
Yes, I just wanted to comment on what Natasha was saying. Like Summer was saying, the schools here are very expensive, and now parents have to work with their kids and pay all this money. And Natasha was saying that her school is kind of poor, and people don't pay almost nothing. And, they get the meals and everything. I think there's a challenge both ways. Like with the parents here who pay big sums of money, they are actually, most of them, of course, are well educated and they can help their kids. But the trend is that you send your kids to an expensive school.
Welcome
so you don't work.
to the Cum Zone. Only come inside
Okay.
anime girls. Quivering clit, double joint.
You've realized what happened, okay? So it's happening again. It's happening again, guys.
Tell me about it.
Yes,
In love with pain.
I'll have to end. I'll have to end.
Torture.
Oh my
I'll have to end. We'll be back.
Well, I removed, so I guess.
If it happens again,
Okay.
I'll just hold on, okay? I'll
Okay.
just hold on. Hene Sudan, ahlan. Come back. What were you saying? Yes.
I'm glad it happened because this is the first time I see more.
And you haven't seen half of it. You
didn't know.
haven't.
Hannah
You-
told me about it, but it never happened with me, so I didn't know what they do. Wow,
Welcome.
now I understand.
Welcome. Yeah, welcome to the world. Okay.
Okay, so what I was saying is on Natasha's side, with the poor families, they have the challenge of that the parents can't really help their kids, even if they want to, because probably most of them have 2 and 3 jobs. So it's a challenge both ways. It's great that parents would take responsibility and help their kids at home and everything, but on the other hand, for one reason or the other, we don't find this, and kids are always kids and parents rely mostly on the teachers and the school for their education. That's it.
True.
Would you like to answer back, Natasha, or anyone else here?
Well, she sort of echoed what I said. So yes, it is definitely going to be a struggle for my students. And she is right. Some of the parents that I work with do have 2 and 3 jobs, and they are mostly blue collar jobs. So yes, it's going to be a struggle. And that's why we are trying as teachers, as a school community, to support them as much as possible, to get them food from the food bank, just to make sure at least they have food in the house. And every student is provided with a computer and a hotspot that is coming from the school district. So as much as we can do, we are trying.
I'm just wondering who is going next. Yes,
Okay.
Maria.
Yes, I just wanted to add that I really agree with Hannah, I really don't know how to pronounce.
Yeah,
those
Hannah.
names
Both. Yeah, we're both Hannah.
Hannah, for me, Hannah. Okay, sorry. The idea is that I understand her point of her child being so enthusiastic and so energetic about the online classes. I guess this is what I said at the very beginning. At the very beginning, they feel enthusiastic because everything is new. They make new friends. They can raise their hands. They can touch buttons, and you see, everything is new. But after 2 or 3 months of being at the same screen with the same person, the same thing almost all the time, they get bored. I hope that Hannah, sorry, feel the same after 3, 4, or 5 months of having her child at online classes. This is what I just wanted to say. Thank you.
Yep.
Yes, Ayet, and then we're going to listen from Fatma, who is really passionate about that. She's going through that kind of experience. There's her struggle with her teenage girl, I guess. Okay, she's gonna tell us about that.
Let's hear from Fatma first. Go ahead, Fatma.
Oh, really? Are you sure?
Sure.
Okay, great. So what basically happens with my teenage daughter is very, very interesting. As much as, the online education has been much of a surprise to most of us, my teenage daughter, she had a very interesting experience. She didn't do very well at school, technically, because, she is the shy and slightly notorious kind, okay? But what happened back in the online classroom was when her online username and password was given to them. Now she studies in the government school, okay, in Saudi Arabia. So what happened in the online school was she was able to see her score. She had a discussion board. She had lectures. She had to attend the lectures, and as she was attending, her grades would go up. That was a very good motivation for her. And then she came back to me. She said, like, Mama, I'm really enjoying my online studies because I kind of feel I understand the content. Because apparently the teachers back at school did not do justice, or when it came to explanation, they were hurrying through. They were not waiting. Over here, my daughter was taking her own time. She was using her own schedule, and she was, let me tell you straight, like Hannah, the previous Hannah, who we were talking to a while ago. She said, how we feel as bad mothers, because we're not bad mothers. Definitely my kids love me. That's all what I would want, but we are not able to give a lot of time to them. So when I see my daughter so motivated, and a 70%, my daughter would score 70%, and all of a sudden when she was studying and she was solving all the exercises online on the online interface that the Minister of Education had set up for them, her score was 98%. Can you believe that? And she was like, you know what, Baba, I would like a gift now. I finally made it to 90%. So that was a very good motivation. And now that she has been promoted to grade 8, she is full of energy. And she says, like, wow, Mama, I'm really looking forward to my new academic year. I never heard her say that for the past 6 years. So this was very, very new to me. So, but my other daughter, Sahar, she is another story altogether. I mean, she's just the opposite of my older one.
Thanks for sharing, Fatma. This is an interesting experience. Although teenage girls are not necessarily very much like, very young learners, pre-K or maybe like K1 to 3. You
Yes.
see? So
even they have
yeah.
shorter attention spans, when you're looking at even early teenage, like she's 13, she's still going through her hormones, and she cannot really focus, and you really have to take all those logistics into account. So considering that, yes, thank you so much for allowing me to share my views.
Thank you for joining us. That was amazing.
Thank you.
Ayet, you wanted to make a
Right.
comment, or maybe anyone else,
Yes.
please feel free.
It's really interesting to hear these inspiring stories about how kids, in spite of the pandemic and the lockdown and all these difficult times, have been enjoying at least a little bit of their online classes, in spite of like put aside the motion and what we're here for. But listening to these stories is really inspiring. And so Fatma's story and about her kid, and how they got to meet. So Amira, you were concerned about kids not meeting other kids, which we're all concerned about. But now Summer said that every week they meet a different teacher and they meet different kids. Because now with online teaching, schools could open up to other schools. So I know schools opened up or connected to their branches in the same country, or to even other branches in other countries. So for example, an organization that has different branches in different countries all over the world, they made like connecting, they started connecting classrooms. So the kids had that opportunity that they would never have in a face-to-face class, to connect to other classes in other governorates or states in the country, or even other countries. So this is good for the kids. If we can at least use that time of lockdown or of staying at home in that positive way and get the kids to experience something new and interesting before going back to schools, and for us as teachers having the restrictions of having to finish the syllabus and having to teach this and do that homework and blah, 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 then that's a good thing that we can push for, at least for some time, until we're safe and go back.
Yes, please go ahead, Natasha. And I wonder if maybe, yes, Amira would like to say something right afterwards. Yes, please.
Okay. Yeah, I loved what Ayat said about, kids meeting other kids online, and for us to be able to connect the children to not just their own classmates and schoolmates, but across the country, across the globe, really, because I've done a training which is called Teachers for Global Classrooms, where we were encouraged to connect with schools around the world. And now if we're teaching online, that is so easy. Here we are, I'm in New Jersey, Argentina, UK, Egypt, and so easy to communicate. So there's a whole new possibility here of global connections, collaborations, of exposing the children to much more than just the classroom. So I'm hoping that when my school opens, I'm going to have a lot of Egyptian collaboration now. And UK and Argentina.
That's lovely. Please, Amira, go ahead. You have, just unmute yourself. Amira, unmute, please.
I just wanted to say thank you, Natasha and Ayat, for being very creative in bringing your point forward. I'm really liking the idea that we are now looking at it from a different perspective, that we look at inviting the world and have a global schooling system or a global education. That is quite inspiring. And the same thing with Ayat. But I just wanted to look at it from one perspective. I want you to consider the low achiever students. Like low achiever students are already like finding the school already stressful. And once the classroom have moved online, they have seized the opportunity, unfortunately, to withdraw altogether. And so many of them is like, not because they already have problems coping with the education. So when this happened, when we went back and we were all locked down and we depended entirely on the online. By the way, I'm a big fan of the online, but the idea we're talking at this age group, we're talking at the pre-K, we're talking at the youngsters who have quite a lot of challenges and face it. They are still developing on so many perspectives. So at this, let alone if you're having this child and he has also some problems, either if he's like hyperactive or autistic or even low achiever, cannot get it that easy. So these people are withdrawing, and the risk of staying at home for a long time is actually jeopardizing their academic progress altogether. It's fantastic that when we stay at home, we kind of acquire different skills. But we're not talking about the acquisition of different skills or other social, emotional skills, or other, like my child has acquired piano. She's now good at piano, simply piano, and she's playing it all the time. But we're not talking about this aspect. We're talking about the academic progress. We're talking about the achievement on academic. These students are coming back to school. And at a point, they are going to take their tests. Nobody's going to remember what happened in 2020, a couple of years later. but they are going to suffer academically a couple of years later. Some of them will cope, some of them will bridge the gap, some of them will fall behind. This is the idea that I'm looking at, I'm talking at. I'm talking about the low achievers, the people who do need their tuition. The high achievers are already motivated. They are intrinsically motivated. You give them online, they'll do it. You give them classroom-based, they'll do it. It's like the low achievers who need this motivation, who need this scaffold, who need this support from the teachers. I just wanted to say also that I actually identify with Summer when she said good teacher, bad mom, because it's all the feeling, we're all there. It's like you feel that you are not giving it enough. It's not about this, it's about that even the kids themselves look at you as their mom. So what you say is not really important. What the teacher says is actually more important and valued and respected. So that is something that I don't know, but that's personal experience that I wish to share with you. Thank you very much, ladies.
Thank you. That was quite elaborate, Amira. Maria, would you like to say something?
Yes, I agree with Amira, because I have a lot of students who are suffering from depression because they are locked down, they cannot contact with their peers, they are just inside the house, or they can go to the patio, to the background, but they need, when I talk to the principal of our school or to our special teachers who are in between the students and us as teachers, they say, well, they don't want to go back to classes, they don't want to do anything, they are like depressed, they feel like they just want to sit down and watch television, they just want to do nothing but school. So what I feel is like that lack of a school schedule is what we need. Yes, we need to go back to class. We need to go back to class soon, because if not, I will also get crazy. Thank you.
Thank you, Maria. So you made a very strong point. We got one audience member here who would like to make a contribution. Samina, I wonder if you would like to, yes, please. Feel free to use your camera if you wish.
No, it's all, I would like to, but it's already a midnight over here. It's a 12:54.
Oh
so
my God.
I would like to, but sorry.
Where are you connecting from?
I'm from Nepal. I'm from Nepal, Kathmandu.
Wow.
I'm a teacher. So I was very enthusiastic about this, really just over here to listen to all the beautiful and intelligent ladies with their insightful vision and the distinctive, powerful speech. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
You
okay,
are,
I have something
yeah,
to say.
Please do,
Thank you.
please. Yeah,
okay,
please.
situation demands the remote learning, online classes, but as far as I'm concerned, the virtual learning is, let's say, 50% effective. It has been anyhow, somehow. I think that it could not be 100% perfect as the physical classes. Nevertheless, some students are drastically transforming also in my class. But in my country like Nepal, there's a lack of internet access, there's the device problem. As we have already discussed about, the whole society or a family are responsible for the education of a child. But the country like Nepal, where I belong, the highest number of illiterate people, where the responsibility is just upon the shoulder of a child, so shoulder of a teacher, not over the society or not over the family. So I think teachers are doing the hard work, but we try to motivate the children each day in the classroom, but the consequences are really less. But let's hope for the better. I'm also taking a class. I teach students of grade 2 and grade 3. I teach them English. English is my main subject. So we are doing here, the condition of the country has becoming worse day by day. We are just praying to God. We are all inside our home, locked down, which has affected very badly. And I'm a mother also. I have 2 kids, a son of 14 years old, who is a teenage, and a girl, and a daughter. She is 9 years old. And they are also badly affected by this lockdown. But anyway, let's not lose a hope. When there's a will, there's a way. So anyway, we all are from my community school, from the teachers from my community school, on the behalf of my school, we all are doing best for the education of the children over here in Nepal. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Samina.
That was so beautiful. And thank you for staying up that late. And thank you for sharing your experience. We're so humbled. And that's an amazing experience. Okay. We really have to all reflect on. I wonder if any of our audience members would like to contribute before I just, take it back to our debaters for them to make their closing statements if they wish. So anybody would like to contribute from our audience members? Have a look here at the chat box. We got Paul. Okay, Paul, please. Yes. Paul?
Sorry, busy pressing buttons and seeing if I
It's
can
all
get...
right. Yes. Paul, would you like to contribute?
Yeah, it's been very interesting to listen in, and hello to the rest of the world. As Amira said, she is my she's my boss actually, and if you look at the window,
So that's how it looks like at your side. Okay.
living room. Amira is very committed and still in the office. It's something we were discussing a lot today. In that we will all, in education, one size never fits all. But unfortunately, we kind of have to have a one size fits all policy because we have so many kids. It's why we have like age-based learning. I mean, if we were to do purely based on skill, then you'd have a 6-year-old in a class with a bunch of 9-year-olds. The problem is whilst academically that might work, if the 6-year-old is smart enough, unfortunately, they're not emotionally developed enough to be in a class with 9-year-olds. So that's why we have an age-based system, even if it's not perfect. And with online lessons, yes, it's a new avenue down which education can look. But unfortunately for young kids, and this is something, again, for all using anecdotal, my family and I, sort of extended family, we regularly have meetings at weekends because of COVID-19 online. And in the first couple of sessions, my niece, bless her heart, she'd regularly steal dad's phone and we'd get views of the house from all sorts of very strange angles. And she would happily join in. But unfortunately to her, whilst she recognizes my face, I'm just a TV character as far as she's now concerned, because she can't differentiate between sort of the physical and what's on the screen. So when she sees me in real life, I am me. When she sees me on the TV, I am just another TV character. She cannot make that emotional and mental split between the concrete and the abstract. So unfortunately, I think with younger kids, we still need an element of the classroom because they need that physical element, which cannot be provided online, unfortunately. Could it be done with parents being involved? Yes, but it's going to require an awful big change to take place in society to accommodate it, if it's going to be a long-term solution. But younger kids, unfortunately, I do think still need that element of the physical. Older kids, and as Amira said, sort of high achievers, they are much more motivated, and it could very well work in terms of getting them to join in and participate and improve their grades. But there was a study done in the UK recently when they actually had kids who were in schools, children of sort of key workers, whose parents couldn't find a way to look after them whilst they're at work. And they said that even in the classrooms, when they're all socially distanced and everything, that even though they could see their friends, they were still 2 meters away, and they missed that element of play. You know, it's like, yes, I can see my friend, I can talk to my friend, I can't play with them. I want to share a stick with my friend. You know, I want to share food. I want to have a drink with, I want to be able to share my toys. They couldn't because they had to sort of stay in their little 2 meter bubble. So yes, I think online is an avenue, but I have a feeling myself, certainly for younger age brackets, there is certainly to a degree, shall we say, a hybridization that will come from this. Because I think there will always be a need to have a teacher physically there, certainly for younger children. But why not invite teachers from other schools, from other continents even, to sort of run the class, but with your sort of regular teacher in the background, just to kind of keep an eye on things and make sure that all the students are genuinely turning to page 3, or making sure that little Johnny sitting in the corner is actually sitting down looking in the right direction. So for me, I think the classroom still has an important role. Is it going to be the same role? No. But it's going to have to evolve, and it's going to take debates and discussions like this to get us pointing in the right direction going forwards, I think.
Paul, that was very interesting here indeed. I mean, quite a perspective. It's such a rounded perspective. I'm just wondering, you're saying things about, yeah, our role has to evolve. But what's happening here is, it's like the teacher does it all. The situation here, the scenario here is, now the teacher is in charge. Parents are fearful for their kids, and they won't send their their kids to school early in the semester anyways, because of the unknown. Okay, so many variables, and it's so much like uncertain. And the teacher is in charge, the teacher is responsible. They're asking teachers to teach face to face at the same time, open cameras, so they go virtual, all right, on the spot, so the kids won't miss what is happening at school. So you can imagine the pressures here and there. It's like, it's a double whammy. I'm becoming, okay, a hybrid kind of creature, not teacher. It's like, I'm going online and I'm doing it face to face simultaneously. And how about safety issues involved? You're talking about things opening up, and testing will clarify things, okay? Well, to be very honest, we don't trust testing around us, all right? So testing or not, we don't have that kind of, trust. We do have trust issues, to be very mild here. So it's just a matter of, okay, it's my life against everyone else. Okay, right. So what do you have to say? Well, we have to really close, okay, our, make our final comments here, trying to secure the teacher, because even all teachers have issues going back to their jobs, okay? They may be laid off because they are at risk. Those with health conditions are seriously at risk. So they don't want to be put into that situation, losing jobs and being replaced by others. And remember, teachers are asked to again divide the class. So there will be less students, but it's the same teacher anyways. Correct. So the teacher doing a full-time job, the kids are part-time. Okay, they can do whatever they like. They pay, teachers get paid. So, I mean, it's that dilemma. I wonder what you got to say. I'll mute myself.
It is a massive dilemma, and it is one that a friend of mine has, well, a couple of friends of mine have been through. One is a teacher, another one's a headmaster at a school here, and they are constantly, through WhatsApp and so on. It's a never-ending cycle of, what do I do? I want to go back because I want to teach my kids, but I'm scared because of COVID-19. The ultimate decision, unfortunately, I can't make a decision for teachers, because I haven't been through everybody's experiences. It is a very massively difficult one, and yes, there are pressures because some schools will say you must come back because we need people in, and if you don't, you'll get fired. But the ultimate decision, unfortunately, I think is going to have to be down to the teacher, and it's going to have to be on the schools to try and work with teachers to try and mitigate as much as possible. I know, like I said, one of my friends is a headmaster, and they have done a lot of work trying to mitigate. So they've put in a lot more sinks so that kids can go wash. They've planned the day so it's spread out. So during the day, the kids can arrive and leave at different times so they don't cross over so much. Everybody's in their own little bubble. They no longer sit together in clusters in the classroom. They're all separate. The teachers, they've managed to source protective equipment. So the teachers at his school seem, on the face of it, to be relatively okay with returning to the classroom. But then he does work at a school that has a pretty good budget. And they can afford to do this. For teachers in schools where there is, like a lot more students and say less space, it's going to be difficult. It could very well be that we have to have a hybrid system now. Maybe some kids in the classroom, some at home. Some maybe have one class come in on a Monday and a Wednesday, another one on a Tuesday and a Thursday, and the rest of the time they're at home and the teacher can teach online. But again, I think these are all, unfortunately, COVID-19 has unfortunately, we've all been moving towards a virtual future. We can easily admit that. The world has been heading this way. The problem is COVID-19 has taken decades of very slow progress and squashed it into about a month. And the internet was not ready for the entire planet to go virtual so fast. It's useful to have sessions like this where we can get a whole group of teachers together who can pool ideas from around the planet, which we can then present to those further up the tree than ourselves and say, this is how I think we should be working moving forwards. We're going to, certainly, if we talk about specifics with sort of the COVID-19 era, we're going to have to be very cute with how we manage things. Teachers, there is probably going to have to be some kind of element of going back to school, but whether we can mitigate, we're moving into the era of mitigation, shall we say, where maybe we can stagger timing. So class 1 arrives at 9, class 2 arrives at 9:30, 3 at 10 o'clock, maybe. Thereby you reduce the amount of time people mix. And then you can stagger playtime so the kids can go out and play and run around, but not do so in a manner that means that they are possibly spreading COVID-19 from one class to another, and try and keep each class in their own little bubble so that when they go home, hopefully with the parents being safe, nothing is really spread around. Or it could very well be, if the school has the resources, do we switch some of the work online? Do we say, okay, class 1 comes in on Mondays and then the rest of the week you're at home? Then class 2 can be on Tuesdays, the rest of the week at home. It's unfortunately, it's going to have to be something each school has to decide on their own. And what we as teachers need to do is shout loudly and long from the top of a hill and say, we do not want to leave your kids alone. We do not want your children to suffer. We want to teach them, but please support us to do so.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Paul. And now closing comments. Yeah, thank you. Closing comments, like a 1-minute comment from each of our debaters.
Can I go first?
Yes, please.
Okay. I just want to piggyback off of what Paul said, help us support your children. And I just want to say, I never say they're your children, they are our children. And definitely we want support for all our children. And just the pandemic has scared everybody. And I don't want any more deaths in my community. There have already been some, and we don't want any tragedies. So that's the only reason why we're doing this, trying to make it work virtually. So support each other. It's a tough time for everyone, parents, teachers, schools, administrators, everyone. So just be patient and support each other. That's all.
Okay, I just go. So thank you, Hannah, for this. Again, I am in favor of coming back to classes with all the safety measures, with everything we need. We need the contact. We need to be together. I know that having online classes is good, is the new technology, is the new thing, but touching, kissing, and hugging is what we need. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Hannah. Thank you, all the debaters and all the audience.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, and now we got Ayet and Amira.
Okay, so the point here is that we're not in favor of getting students stuck at home or even going back to school. We just want the best for them. So are they ready, and are we ready to teach them in schools face-to-face now or not? So I want kids to get back to school when we are ready as teachers to offer them the best learning environment, and when they can enjoy classes and not just get stuck in one chair and don't do this, don't do that, and you have to take care of this and that, and even restrict the teachers. So the point is, are we ready to offer them the best that they do deserve, about how to give them best learning environment?
Thank you very much, Ayet. Last but not least, Amira. Please unmute yourself.
All the time, I forget all the time. Just want to thank you all, ladies. Fantastic and you've given so much food for thoughts. And thank you, Hannah, for giving me and giving the debaters this opportunity to brainstorm and think about what ideas we're thinking all about. Yes, I'm still in favor of the physical and the brick and mortar classroom. I'm a big fan. Like I see that, or I believe that children actually learn, not for everyone. Maybe we're focusing here, the debate focuses on the very young learners. So if you're talking very young learners, they need this social interaction. They learn from this social interaction with all the precautions needed, with social distancing, with the social bubbles formulating, with having the hybrid style or different starting dates, timing, or different ending timing, so that people do not come across each other and spread the virus. So we can put a lot of precautions to protect the children and ourselves. Another point that is worth mentioning is the thank you to the teachers. The teachers have not been looked at as key workers. Well, they were considered kind of key worker, but not of playing a vital role, but they are. And now they are taking these brave decisions, some of them because of the money, because of financial reasons, because of their belief, because of so many reasons. They are putting their lives at risk. They are coming there, going there, and taking the risk of for the sake of education or for any other sake. But the idea is that they are key workers. They are risking their lives, whether now or before. They have been all the time under the pressure. But now it is the time for us to recognize the effort. All parents have recognized the efforts that the teacher put inside the classroom when they started giving tuition to their own kids. So it's the idea that the teacher is exerting a lot of effort, whether she's doing this online or she's doing it classroom-based physically. The effort cannot be ignored. It's unfair that we're ignoring it. But yes, the presence of the teacher inside the classroom does support the student, does protect the academic progress of the student, help the students to move on. The absenteeism from the classroom risks the loss of learning, risks that students who could go to university might not be able to go to university because of their cognitive development. There are, as Maria said, some mental health problems, issues like depression or so. So it's a very, very difficult situation to take. It's a very, very difficult decision. But I would very much like to thank my colleagues, my debaters, who have put across quite innovative ideas and quite inspiring ideas. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank
Amir.
you. Thank you, Amira, really. Just before we round off and thank the team of debaters here, I'm sharing the results here of the poll. Yeah, well, unanimous. Although not so many people have taken it, it's just 5. But here, yeah, they are for the difficult decision of sending their very young, learners back to school. Good luck for those teachers who are going to take that burden. Okay, it's not an easy task, and we have to wish for the best. I mean, like we sent off, our Sanawiya Amma students, like third secondary students, and fourth year students at university. We had to send them off to sit for final exams, and we were not really sure what would happen to them. Thank God, no serious matters or serious issues were reported. So hopefully it's gonna work for us. We're gonna see. I mean, it's a situation that is unprecedented. So on behalf of NileTESOL Professional Development Committee, I'd like to thank each and every one of you, Ayet, Natasha, Maria, and Amira. You've made my day here. It was an enriching debate indeed. And I really thank each and every member of the audience who really joined us here and interactively throughout the debate. They enriched the debate as well through their insightful perspectives. Thank you very much. And till we meet again, uh, next week is going to be a coffee night, some light-hearted activity. Hope you are able to join us. And bye for now. Thank you. And a picture here for just, our finale. Anybody who would like to switch on their cameras? Oh, it's just our debaters. Yes, yes. Yeah. Please. Yeah. Come back on camera. Anybody who would like to take our final photo here. Please. Yeah. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Yes. Anybody else? Join us. And thumbs up with a big smile. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Thank you, Hannah.
Thank you,
Bye.
dearie. Thank you.
Thank you all.
Love you all.
Bye.
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 Bye, ladies.
Bye
Bye.
bye.
Bye-bye.
Have a wonderful rest of the day or evening.
You too. Bye-bye.
Good night to wherever you are. I'm sure it's late night. Sumina, very late night for you. And good
Thank
night.
you.
Nice
Good night.
meeting you all.
Good
See
night.
you. Bye.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Yeah. And I'll keep you posted on how my online classes go because we
Please.
start.
Sure.
Please.
That'll be lovely. Sure.
I start my training this week, actually. Yeah, for 5th grade.
Wonderful. So we'll look forward, okay? Hear
Absolutely.
from you soon. Bye,
Bye-bye.
Natasha.